The Truck Parking Clubhouse. I'm your guy, Lumbar Trucking, back at it. Another Monday night, June 22nd. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend out there. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, especially all the fathers out there, truck drivers driving, hitting the hammer out there on the road, providing for your families. If you weren't able to be around your kids this weekend, again, big shout out to you guys and all the dads out there. But yes, hope you guys are staying safe throughout any storms. I know that there's a big fire going on in Houston, Texas right now. So if you're in the Houston area, definitely stay safe. And I know that there's been some really bad weather going through the Midwest. So always check your local weather before you guys are rolling out, especially as you're going through your route planning. Before we get in the clubhouse, again, quick announcement. Taillights just dropped about 30 minutes ago in your inbox. Great hot button articles on there. One, Daimler going with a DEF update that I think is should be kind of the industry norm when it comes to the trucks, derating to you. That's something that's happened to me twice while I was over the road, trucks derating, and I think it's wildly unsafe to slam an 80,000-pound truck down to 5 miles per hour for something that all could be just be a bad sensor. And it looks like Daimler is getting on top of it. So check that out in taillights, as well as kind of the DOT Blitz Week Part 2. There's DOT Blitz Week, but wait, there's more from the CVSA. And, we don't, the CVSA, which isn't a government organization, they seem to just have their way with everything. But check that out, as well as we got a survey in there we'd love for you guys to fill out, and some other partner codes and more, as well as a great recipe for you guys to stay healthy and get your protein over the road. But without any further delay, I want to bring on my good friend to the clubhouse. He calls himself the OTR Bandit. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, everyone?
Man,
otherwise doing good.
Good to see you on a Monday night. Looks like you're checking in at home. Where are you tuning in from?
I'm from home, right here in Columbia, Missouri, man. I had a load I was supposed to do today. It's a short load, but very good money. And I get there, and as soon as I checked in, I talked to a guy. I knew something was going to be wrong. And apparently, the people who store the stuff there at this underground storage facility, they failed to pay their bill, and they're trying to get all their stuff out prior to doing that. And these guys did not want to release the product. And me and three other drivers, we got stuck up, and there's no load for us. Luckily, I live close by, so I just came back home, and I got a $200 truck order that not used, but that's nothing compared to what I was gonna make, So
Yeah, and I hope to dive into that in a little bit later on the clubhouse, because that's an interesting topic. The shipper you went to, they didn't pay their bill, and I'm curious if other drivers are seeing that. And it's funny you bring that up. There's always not every pickup is the same, and you always know there's I feel like there's a driver's intuition that comes with showing up at a shipper, where you almost feel it down your bones that as you're walking to go check in, you're like, something's about to go wrong.
The place is gonna be terrible. A lot of times you show up at these places, you're like, oh my God, why did I take a load from this place? And I've been to a lot of places like that. They want to keep you forever, and they just don't want to give you any kind of updates. So I'm like, and I'm an independent operator. I run for myself, my MC number, my truck, everything. And I don't let anybody screw with me. So I just go ahead and I leave, and I tell the broker how it is. I'm like, I'm not going to be waiting here forever. They're like, well, we're going to pay you, what is it called? Detention. I'm like, I don't care about your detention, man. I don't want to drive all night because I can't sleep while I'm waiting. I don't know what's going on. I'm all fidgety and stuff and nervous, like how long this is going to take, and it can take forever, man. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. It's too much stress, so I just go ahead and leave. I don't care if I lose a day, but hey.
I feel you, man.
I guess that's part of the trucking, as they say, which is the dumbest saying ever, man. Everything that happens bad, they're like, oh, it's just part of the trucking, deal with it. And I don't want to deal with it. I wanted to get better, but it'll never get better, man.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of have to agree with you there when it comes to anytime something happens, people just say, well, that's just trucking. And I feel like, and I feel like in some ways that's, there's unnecessary cope. I don't think that things have to be just trucking sometimes.
No,
I think things should actually just go a little bit better sometimes. Maybe sometimes it shouldn't just be trucking. Maybe it should actually maybe people should actually just do their job and then
No, if you do construction, let's say you show up to work and every day five guys come up to you and like smack you over the back, with 2x4, and they say, "Oh, it's just part of the construction job." You're gonna be like, "But that's not normal." Same thing like with us. I mean, you show up like somewhere and they're like, "Well, your load was supposed to be ready for 9 a.m., but it's like 5 p.m. It's still not ready." I mean, that's not normal either. So it's not as
yeah,
bad as 2x4 over the back, but still, it's kind of bad.
yeah, it might be high time we stop coping by saying it's just trucking.
Yeah,
How about people getting gear, do their jobs?
I have a blacklist, and I refuse to go to those places. Like, I refuse to go. Like, I will ask whenever I see the town or city where it's picking up. I will always ask, "Is it this place?" And they will say, "Well, it is." And if it is the place that's on my blacklist, I do not go there. I don't care how much money it is.
All right, you got any blacklisted locations you want to share?
Oh man,
You don't have to dox yourself or anybody in case you're trying to look out
there's
for the
like
image.
there's like way too many, to be honest with you. Like majority of Tyson plants, like
Ooh,
George's Chicken down in Arkansas, and I can't remember. It's just south of Missouri there in 49. I can't just it's just there's quite a few, so too many to remember, to be honest with you. Mostly meat processing places,
ah,
like
yeah, no,
where they would bring in live animals and then you have to wait, when they do what they do with them, process them, and they load them on your trailer, mostly places like that. Uh,
Roger that. Dealing with meat processing. Well, hey man, let's shift gears into a little bit. We're talking a little bit of drama and all the things that are just trucking. I got to know, where did the OTR Bandit come from, man? How did you get into trucking in general?
well, I got in trucking, man, back like a little bit over 20 years ago. I was working at this factory and it was a good job. I had all the benefits, everything. I had seniority because I was working there for a while. And I was just like, man, I'm gonna go. My cousin got into trucking, and he said it was good money. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go do it too for like 2 or 3 years, make up a lot of money, and then quit. Well, here I am, like more than 20 years later, still doing it. I was a company driver for like a year, maybe year and a half. Then I bought my own truck, and then like maybe like 6 months after I bought my own truck, I started my own company, and I've been running as owner operator, independent operator ever since. I did. I did try quitting trucking a few times. I went local, but I just couldn't do it. So here I am doing over the road again. OTR Bandit. It stands for like over the road bandit. As you know, I mean, of course, a lot of people will know who are truck drivers, but I don't know. It's just the name that I picked. I wanted to have different name for social media, like Trucking for Life, but I wasn't able to get all the same name across all platforms. And kind of, if you want to do social media, it's kind of important to have the same name across every platform. And then once I found OTR Bandit, I was like, well, we're gonna go with that. It is kind of dumb, but hey, it is what it is, man. I
Yeah,
like
but
it. It's
but
catchy.
you're the only OTR Bandit. I mean,
That's right.
there might be a few lookalikes, but I feel like how long have you been making content? You think you're the first one to claim that name?
I am the first one to claim that name, yes. And I started about, I would say about 2 years ago, maybe. I never planned on, like, I just wanted to show, like, on YouTube, I just wanted to show like real trucking. I make YouTube video, like long form YouTube videos, and I show like reality of everyday life out here. I show everything. Like, there's no sugarcoating, nothing. Uh, I'll show like confrontations with security guards, with shippers, receivers, like, me yelling at them and stuff like that. I mean, it's everything, man. Everything goes over here. So
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, do you have meta glasses?
yes, I do.
I
I
was gonna
just
say
bought it. I just bought them like a month ago.
that's where I feel like meta glasses could be a game changer for. I mean, for all whether drivers make content or not, I think that when it comes to even if a driver has a social media channel, I feel like meta glasses could be I mean, just when it comes to advocacy, seeing what happens at shippers, receivers, bathrooms,
Oh yeah,
um,
100%.
how drivers are treated. I think that one of the best investments a driver can make right now could
Yeah.
be meta glasses.
I see a lot of drivers using them, and there's this one guy, I don't know his name. I saw him on Instagram. It was a short video. He was getting unloaded down in New Orleans somewhere, and he was there for like 3 or 4 hours, still waiting. And the guys at the dock, even though they were supposed to unload him, they wanted excuse me, they wanted money from him in order to unload him, and he caught him on the glasses. He started like cussing them out and like stuff, and then they were real quick to unload him for free. They're supposed to do their job, but they want to charge you something, on the side. I'm like, no, man, that's just scumbags.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's still places trying to operate like that, trying to
oh
get
yeah,
one over,
yeah. I
win
don't
one
mind
over.
paying. I've paid before to get unloaded or to get ahead of, to get unloaded ahead of time, and like sometimes it'll work, sometimes it will not, but I mean, I don't mind paying, to be honest with you, sometimes, but not, I shouldn't be paying you to do your job. But I'll be honest with you, it may be kind of hypocritical, but if it benefits me, I mean, I'll pay. If I'm gonna get out of there like a day early or half a day early, I don't mind paying. Be honest with you, 20, $30, but shouldn't
Well,
be
yeah,
like that.
time is money, and it's like
Oh
if you
yeah,
can get out of Dodge quicker and get to your next
hundred
load, and you're
percent.
ahead of the game, why not?
Oh yeah, day early. I mean, if you get unloaded, shoot, man, there's this one place down in Springfield, Missouri. I go there quite a bit often. It's underground, and these guys, man, they're freaking awesome. They unload me like almost like 99% of time. They only wasn't able to unload me twice, uh, a day early, but usually they unload me day early, like whenever I get down there, even with the appointment. So I'm like, man, why can't everybody be like that?
Right. So going back to when you first got your CDL, so before you, where were you working before you got your CDL? You were
I was
at,
working. I was working at the factory, Spicer Axle. We were making like differentials, axles and drive shafts for cars.
and it was, and so your cousin was like, "Hey, I'm trucking. There's some money here. I can do it."
Yeah,
When you got your CDL, did you? I mean, how did you pay? Did you kind of pay for school yourself? Did you
yeah.
sign on with a company?
I paid for myself. I would never recommend anybody to sign up with the company because you're not gonna be making any money, and you're gonna have to drive for them until you pay for their license. And it's just the biggest scam, just like all these leasing companies that are leasing trucks.
Got it. So
I
yeah,
would never do that either, man. That's like the worst idea ever, brother.
that's what we're in for. That's why we have the clubhouse to get the know how, the words of wisdom from the guys who are doing it, especially 20 plus years. Your first company, you said you were a company driver for about a year. Uh, you got your start with them. What were you hauling? If you don't need to highlight them if you don't want to, especially
My
depending on your experience.
well,
But
well, the company shut down. It was a company out of San Luis, and my driving record was like really bad because I had all fast cars and speeding tickets, and nobody would hire me. So these guys, they hired me, and then I went to drive like with another guy. We were driving teams, and we were kind of like owner operators driving this guy's truck, were pulling Saya trailers, pulling doubles. And my first load was pulling doubles going to Salt Lake City, Utah. And supposedly it's my very first load. I remember it was like January 2006. Uh, the guy had 2 years of experience, the guy that was training me, and we were supposed to go like Interstate 70 to Kansas City, take 29 up to 80 and run that over there to Salt Lake City, Utah. Well, he didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. Well, his stupid ass took us across Rockies in freaking January, man. And I we stopped in Denver to get something to eat. I wasn't feeling good. I had a fever, so I went to bed. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, he's like yelling, cuss. He's like, "Get up! We gotta jump out of truck." I was like, "What the hell's going on, man?" So I get up, throw my Carhartt, jacket on, my boots. I'm like, and all the lights on the dash are like, on, and like it's beeping. I don't know what the heck's going on. Well, his stupid ass, he didn't know how to turn on engine brake. I mean, you have to turn on Jake brake on a switch over here, but also there was a small kind of like a pedal button down by the clutch. They had to push with your foot in order for Jake brake to work. and he didn't know how to do that, and we ran out of air, on for our brakes. But luckily, right after that big downgrade, there was like a big hill coming up, and we were able to stop there overnight. In the morning, we got a call from the company. They're like, why aren't you guys in Salt Lake City, Utah yet?" We were like, "Well, because it's snowing a lot and we can't move." They're like, "Well, it's not snowing up there." Their drivers are saying, that there's no snow. Their drivers are getting fine, Saya drivers. And they're like, "Where are you?" I was like, "We are on Interstate 70 in freaking Rockies." And they're like, "Well, you're not supposed to go there." I'm like, "How am I supposed to know? He's, has 2 years of experience, And it was just, I didn't work with him for a long time, luckily. So then I went on my own, it was much better. I would never recommend anybody drive teams either, man. That freaking sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so don't drive teams, and that was one thing I was really lucky. I was always able to avoid. It's like probably first month I was driving. Like multiple people said, stay away from 70 in the winter. I mean, they just
Oh,
said
yeah.
stay away from 70 in general. Like
Yeah.
it didn't matter. And I've only been on 70 from Denver going back east. Like I took it. I was coming down. I was coming back from delivering a combine somewhere, and I had to come down through Wyoming, and I came straight down south from Wyoming, straight down to Denver, and then 70 back east, and that was like midsummer, and so I was only going back east instead of going west. And I know that whole stretch of 70 is just super super dicey.
It's
Um,
crazy, man. Yeah. I went over it 3 times, twice with Saya trailers. Well, one time he was driving, then next time I was driving, and then the third time was I was pulling like 45,000 pounds of freaking phone books, man, from Denver to Las Vegas. And I went over there, but it was summertime, so. And get this, I was driving for this company out of Chicago, and I get down to Las Vegas and I go to check in, and I was driving Freightliner Century. As I go to check in, I locked my truck. So now I don't have a key. I can't in, get back inside of it. So I'm like, man, what the hell? So, but luckily, I was able to open my side door on a bunk, push up the bed from the outside, and then crawl in there. I wouldn't be able to do it right now because I'm much heavier now, but much wider. But that back then, I was able to do it. But it's crazy, man.
Dude, that's good stuff. So what inspired you to get what inspired you to say I'm getting my own truck? That's it, as opposed to maybe just finding either driving for a friend. What was it like getting your first truck? What was that process like getting your authority? What year was it?
Well, getting my first truck was pretty easy because the Freightliner Century that I locked myself out of, which I've done many times after that. I drove for a company out of Chicago for a year that truck, and the guy, he wanted to sell it. So I was like, "How much you gonna sell it?" He's like, "Oh man, I think," he said, like 11,000. I was like, "I'll buy it," and he sold me a truck and a trailer for $16,000. And this was back in like at the end of 2007, I believe. And I drove that truck until sometimes April or something of 2012. No problems, no issue whatsoever. I made a lot of money with that truck. That's the best truck I ever had. And it broke down in Florida on me, and on my last load. And I just decided to sell it. And I rented a car, and I came up here to Colombia. And then in 2008, I think, after my son was born, sometimes late 2008, I was driving I was working as owner operator for my cousin. And what he got married and he went on like vacation for like a week or 2 weeks, and he gave me an access to CH Robinson load board so I can find loads on my own while he was on vacation. And I asked him, "Look, since you're not since you're not finding loads for me, you're not doing anything, can you not charge me 10%?" And he was like, "Oh, I can't do that." And he still charged me 10%, and he blocked me then after that from using CH Robinson. I was still working for him. He just didn't want to give me an access. And I was like, "Man, this freaking guy." So then I decided to start my own authority. And I was like, "I'm not sharing my money with anybody." This is the only way. If you're going to be out here wasting your time, wasting your life away on the road, this is the only way to do it, man. The way that I am doing it. Be independent owner operator. Have your own truck, your own trailer, your own authority, everything. You don't have to share your money with anybody, man. Everything you make is for yourself. So
Wise words coming out there. I know this is why we're gonna have to roundtable that. I'd love to get a couple different opinions, but I think you got yourself in at a good time, and an experience with your cousin kind of set you off to go your own way. Well, so that Freightliner lasts you till 2012.
yeah.
And it's what do you get next? What happens next? And
Then,
what what kind of freight were you hauling? Were you doing van? Were you doing reefer?
yeah, yeah, drive and freight. Then after that, I bought a 2007 Volvo. And even though I make fun of Volvos, but it was like one of the best trucks I ever had until I put a driver in it. And then I decided to, I was like, I'm gonna buy some more trucks, get some drivers so I can stay home. And I bought up some more. I had 5 trucks and 5 drivers, and I stayed home for like 2 years. But it was nothing but problems, man. They don't, drivers don't care about your equipment. They don't care about nothing. All they care about is driving. And I just, they kept breaking it. I kept fixing it. They break it. I fix it. I was like, you know what? Finally, I was like, I'm done. So I got rid of everybody, sold everything. And then I bought, this was in like 2017, I think, just before they were about to implement ELD. I bought a 2011 Freightliner Coronado, and he had like 800 something thousand miles on it, and that was like one of the best trucks as well that I had. And then COVID hit, and with COVID, came big money after a certain period. With COVID, like began, it was like 3 months. There was no freight or nothing, and then the freight really hit. So I went working for Dollar General as owner operator right here out of Fulton, Missouri, about 30 minutes from the house. So I would go with my truck, pick up their trailer, load a trailer, and then just go deliver locally. Like probably like maybe the furthest I went a couple of times was like 300 miles away, but that would pay like $3,300 to do that. And everything else like locally, like less than 600 miles, was like $2,200 every day. But you do have to unload your own truck. But most of the stuff that I've done was like maybe 150 200 miles round trip. I was doing like you know kind of short runs, because I the broker that was doing those loads, I got in good with them, and I would honestly, like, I would pay them like every week. I would send them $500 Venmo, because they were hooking me up with good loads, and I made a lot of money doing that. I was working there for like 2 years, and at the end of 2022, yeah, 2022, I was like, man, I need to buy something expensive because Uncle Sam is gonna come for me. So I go out and I buy this Peterbilt 389. It's a beautiful truck, don't get me wrong. As soon as I buy this sucker, they're like, there's no more Dollar General. So now I'm like, man, I had my Freightliner Coronado, I had my Peterbilt 389, and then I post both trucks for sale at the same day, and Freightliner Coronado sold within like 1 hour after I posted it.
Wow.
Some guy wired me the money. He didn't even see the truck, and I
Oh, this is in 2022.
yeah.
So that's dude. And I mean, I think everybody remembers when trucks were like, I mean, everything was going over price. I mean, like they were selling dry van trailers were getting sold for 65 grand.
Oh yeah.
People were paying 60,000. So a guy, you were selling the what year Coronado was that?
It was 2011.
2011 Coronado, and he didn't even come look at the truck, and he just
No,
sent you the money.
yeah, he saw pictures. I mean, because he was well, he didn't know me personally, but he knew some people that know me, and he asked about the truck, and they said how I take good care of it. He had like brand new tires, brand new rear ends, like rebuilt engine and all the other stuff. So I mean, he didn't have to do anything on it. So
Dang, that's wild.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna call from my wife to bring me a charger because my phone is running low on battery. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
This time, or don't need punjač, please. Yeah. So yeah, man, and here I am with this beautiful Peterbilt 389, right now that I have. But
Yeah,
I
what and
like
what
it.
And what year 389 is that?
It's 2016 Peterbilt 389 product class. It's a glider, so it's got a Detroit 60 engine, 12.7, 13 speed transmission. So it's a nice truck, man. I love it. But I wish I still had my Freightliner Coronado, to be honest with you,
Really? Now, what makes you say that?
because he has like a lot more room inside.
Gotcha.
Pretty much, I mean, that's the only reason. But I don't know. I just like because Peterbilt 389, it looks big, but it looks big. It's not very big inside. So,
Yeah, it's yeah. You're saying living space wise, the Coronado is a little bit better quality of life.
yeah, and I carry a lot of tools, a lot of spare parts, because I like to work on my own stuff. That's another thing I would recommend if you're gonna be owner operator or independent owner operator like I am. You need to know how to work on your own stuff. You buying a truck and relying on everything to be repaired at the shop, you're not gonna make it, buddy. You're gonna make it for like a year or a little bit, but you're not gonna make it for a long time.
Yeah, full time owner operator, part time mechanic.
Yeah, pretty much. And I
That,
do everything. I do all of my stuff here on the side of the street, public street. Welcome to my shop, aka the public street. So,
yep, I got a good friend of mine. He does the same thing. I mean, every other day he's got the computer. He'll run it up. He runs the codes on his truck. I mean, it's
yeah.
basically how he's survived probably the last 4 years.
Oh
If
yeah.
he, yeah, if he didn't do that, I mean, he changes his own trailer tires. He changes his own steer tires. I mean, he's done it all. And when you do think about it, I mean, time is money, but these shops haven't gotten any cheaper.
Yeah, I've changed leaf springs on the side of the street, and that was like the biggest job I did on this truck. I've changed like gearboxes, even like fifth wheel, man. The whole thing. You know how freaking heavy that thing is, and I manhandled that sucker, man. I really did, and I have a video on my YouTube channel to prove all of this. So,
Of you had to change out your fifth wheel.
oh yeah, like the whole thing. So I
Yeah,
didn't have to, but I was chasing a problem, in my truck, like lane walking, and I was just kind of replacing everything, to get it figured out.
yeah, we had to. I mean, we had to get everything polished up on the 1978, the Transtar that we had at Mid America, which
Hmm.
we'll also have at Shell Super Rigs next week. That I'll get to drive, which I'm excited to drive a
That
13 speed.
international.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited to pop a splitter on a 13 speed. I know it's a little bit better than 18. I've driven a friend of mine's W9. 18 speed is really cool, but I feel like a lot of people's preferred transmission is the 13 speed. What about you?
Well, I've driven like regular 10 or like super 10 that has that flip switch on the side, and 13 speed, and out of those like 13 is my favorite. I've never driven like 15 or 18. I did drive automatic. This was a long time ago when I started, but it wasn't like fully automatic because it had a clutch up in it. It was kind of weird. It was automatic, but it still had a clutch. So it was an
Let's
old.
go. Well, hey man, your trucking career spans over 20 years. Why not to shift gears a little bit because you've probably seen over the last 20 years. It's crazy to think that 2006 was 20 years ago, but here
I
here
know,
we
man.
are,
Time flies.
and you've seen kind of you've seen the markets change. You've seen a lot of things go up and down. I mean, I'm sure you've seen parking change over the last 20 years. What's it been like? No, like what's changed parking wise over your career? And when was the first time you had heard about us at Truck Parking Club?
Well, this truck, this parking problem kind of started when ELDs, started. Because before, not everybody had to shut down like as soon as it got dark. You know, right now, 5, 6 p.m. I mean, and it's done. Truck stops are filled up. Uh, I remember you guys. I was always against, paying for parking or whatever. And I remember you guys reached out to me. This was back in September of last year, but I was like, to do some, promoting for you guys. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do it because I have not used it. I want to use stuff then I could talk about it, because I don't know what I'm. So, and then one night, like maybe like a month after you guys reached out, or something, or 2 months, I was running down to Houston, Texas from Carthage, Missouri, and right there on Interstate 43, just north of Texas. I was trying to shut down somewhere, so because I don't know where I'm gonna sleep in Houston. I don't want to sleep in big city. I like to pull over like an hour or 2 hours before I get there, and there's just nowhere to park. So I'm like, you know what? My buddy Shimon, grinding gears and also trucking resources, Rob, they were telling me during GBET's Guilty by Association truck show down in Joplin, Missouri, hosted by Four State Trucks, which you guys should definitely come next year because they have it every 2 years. So they'll have it in September 2027. But anyway, I'm running and I'm like, man, I'm gonna try this truck parking club. So I download the app, and long and behold, there's a truck parking club. I get out and I pay for it. It was like maybe $15, and I slept there. I got up early in the morning and I got into Houston, without any problems, no traffic, no nothing. And then still, I was like, man, I don't know about this. And then one night I was in Jackson, Tennessee, and there's nowhere to park. And there's Loves, it's filled up like to the brim. There's people are blocking like a entrance lane into a truck stop, and I had to blow my train horn, because I got that on that. Right. And right across from Loves, there's a truck parking club, and they have I think it's exit 87 or something right there off of Interstate 40. I may be wrong, something like 287. I don't know. It's got a barbecue joint right there in the parking lot.
You said Jackson, Tennessee, right?
Yeah, Jackson, Tennessee. Yeah.
Yep.
So I get out, I go over there, and there's a availability. So I use my buddy Simone's grind 10 promo code, and I park there for the night. I was like, you know what? I like this thing. So that's when we kind of got in touch, and then down at Matt's, and here I am, and I use it, man. Whenever I I don't. Because if it's a big city, I don't like going in there sleeping. If it's a small outside in the country, I'll go and sleep at the shipper or receiver. But whenever I'm somewhere, and I mean, I am very glad that there's truck parking club. Like I know I used it just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, man, in Edwardsville or Pontoon Beach. That place was amazing, man. Truck parking club fenced in, like there was homeless people running around, everybody, all kind of nonsense going on. I was sleeping like a baby because it was fenced in. It was like, right there at River Roads Leasing and Sales, I think, right next to Flying J, right there, Pontoon Beach, Interstate 270, exit 6. So I like that, man. So I don't know. I would recommend anybody, man, do it. You can reserve up front. Some locations you can't reserve up front, but I think most of them you can, from what I've seen.
Absolutely, man. That's what it's all about. It's a tool for the tool belt.
And that's like when we were talking earlier, I like knowing stuff. When I go into shipping office and I ask them how long it's gonna take, if they tell me it's gonna take 8 hours, then I'm okay. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll be okay. I'll wait. But if they keep telling me I don't know, then I'm not gonna be happy about it. Well, whenever I'm driving and I know where I'm gonna shut down, okay, I know there's a truck parking club right there. I can reserve my spot on the app, and I know it's waiting for me right there. So when I get in, I just go to sleep. I don't have to worry about parking. I don't have to. It's less one thing less to stress about. So
100%, man. A
that's
big,
how I
big,
see it. Man.
big shout out to Exit 87 Barbecue, by the way, which you can order barbecue via CB radio. In
Oh yeah.
case yeah. So when you're a couple miles out, you can actually put in your order for barbecue on the radio before you get up to it. I know there's a couple places like that in Kentucky as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that I believe that you're able to order from, as well as like a truck wash. I remember hearing some advertisements, but that's awesome. Exactly, that's what it's all about. These shippers, they're wasting your time. Anything you can do to set yourself up to succeed and have it. You want to stay out of the big cities. You want to avoid traffic. You want to get close to your shipper
100%.
receiver. There you go. Now, wanted to shift gears another bit. I know you miss out on a load today. Next question I got for you. I'd love to head it into the last little bit. Would love to hear about an issue in this industry that our buddy Shimon, his name's grinding gears. What's an issue going on in the industry right now that grinds your gears? That you're like, hey man, no more. It's just trucking. We need to solve this problem.
I'll be honest with you, man. I think the worst part of this trucking is shippers and receivers. That's just my opinion. That's the worst part. No DOT or like parking problem comes even close. All those other things are also problem. But in my opinion, shippers and receivers are the worst problem, man. Because wasting time, that's like the worst thing you can do to somebody. Because time you can never get back. So
So like you're talking like just straight up accountability. Like
yeah,
they're too slow. They're
yeah,
not like they're just unorganized.
yeah. I'm always on time. I'm never late. And if you schedule my appointment for 7 a.m. to deliver, I'm gonna be there. You don't need to keep me there for 6, 7 hours, unload your stupid stuff, and then count it and all this other stuff. What does that have to do with me? There's a stupid seal on a trailer. You broke it. You saw that it was sealed. So why do you keeping me there all this time, counting that stupid stuff? Wasting my time. It's just, I mean, that's my opinion. I think a lot of drivers would agree with me when it comes to that. I really do, especially in the reefer business. Like I do reefer, and that reefer, I mean, it pays good, but it freaking sucks, man. You know?
Yeah, yeah, you definitely. I mean, I'm definitely going to be in agreement with you, especially the shippers, the receivers that keep the trucks there when they're counting the material.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything more criminal than that,
no,
considering once again the motor carrier was hired to transfer product from A to B.
exactly.
They and a lot of and again with how these shippers and receivers work, especially post COVID, is you don't even see the freight. Like you pull away from that door, they seal the trailer, that's it. Like you don't even look at it. And so
No,
if you go to that receiver and they unload that freight, the job of the carrier is done.
exactly.
If there's missing material, that's
That's
between
not my problem.
that's
Yeah,
between the
so and
customers.
and a lot of times you'll show up to shipper and you will back into a door with your doors closed. So they'll open it from the inside, load you up, lock it up, put a bolt seal on there, close the door, and off you go. And what is that? Why does counting have to do anything with me? Like Walgreens, Target, and like some Kroger places. Like there was a Peyton's Mid South that over there south of Denver somewhere where it was like very bad. They're like, well, we have to physically touch every box. So if you have like 4,000 boxes on there of some kind of product, they have to touch every single stupid box and put a sticker on it. Like, why do I have to be here for that? But
100%. Yeah, and I know I've covered it in the newsletter before, and I know that every now and then the conversation hypes up on Twitter. But there's always a bill. It sometimes makes it out of committee, but it dies. But the guaranteeing overtime for truckers act, and people are for and against it, and I get it. There's no immediate pay raise for independents and owner operators for the guarantee because what the guaranteeing overtime for truckers act would do, which would eliminate the FLSA exemption from not basically truckers are exempt from overtime due to a law from the 30s, from the Fair Labor and Standards Act.
it's
And
stupid.
with and where the crossroads is yes, where owner operators and single truck motor carriers don't get a pay raise because they're not paid by the mile and they're not paid by the hour. What it would do, I think, if the guaranteeing overtime or truckers act was passed, it's that rising tide lifts all boats, where at this point the shippers and receivers, as you said, so that like the shippers and receivers would then the ball would be tossed back in their court. And if these shippers and receivers are keeping trucks longer than they need to be there, like then there's going to be some sort of like there's going to be have to be contract negotiations because
Hmm.
the carrier is going to be like, hey, if you're going to keep and the mega carriers have all this data. The mega carriers have ELDs, they've got their Samsaras, they've got their cameras. They know how long their trucks are sitting at docks. And if
Oh,
and if and if Werner or one of these big companies goes to Target or Walmart or whoever and it's like, hey, you either need to get our trucks out of here in this amount of time or you're going to have to pay us more. That is going to help the single truck owner operators where you yourself you like where yes, you're not going to get a pay raise from being paid overtime. You're not going to be sitting at those docks longer, which is a win-win. And that's always
it
a
is.
it's always a part of the conversation that so whenever that swings back around, we'll have to highlight the topic. But detention and shippers and receivers, the OTR bandits' number one enemy.
Yeah, and also one more thing. I think, in my opinion, every company driver, if you drive a truck for a company, you should be paid from the second you step foot inside of that truck to the second you come home and step out of that truck. Doesn't matter if you're at the truck stop sleeping or whatnot. You should still be getting paid because you are inside of that truck. That's
There
what
you go. OTR bandit. He says all hours work, all hours paid. You heard it. You heard it here first on the track, on the record. Last question before I let you off on the rest of your night, and you're able to go get tomorrow's freight. But what's the OTR bandit's words of wisdom for anybody who's looking to get? If you could, if I was 21 years old, I'm like, dude, OTR bandit. I've been watching on YouTube. I'm in CDL school, I'm going to get my CDL. What's your best advice?
Well, you might be surprised, but I would say don't do it.
We've heard that before.
I have a son. He's he's 18 years old, and I've talked to him like his whole life. Trucking sucks. Don't get into it. If you're gonna get into it, have a plan, have an exit strategy. Leave after a few years, man. Don't get stuck in here for like 20 plus years or whatnot, man. It's just that's just my opinion, but some people might disagree, but I would just say don't do it.
So you're saying kind of stay away, steer clear, maybe use it as a stepping stone. Yeah. But all right, say it's too late. Say I just got my CDL. I'm like, hey, where do you think I should go work? What's the move?
Go work somewhere for a smaller company because they pay more. You might not have all these benefits, whatnot, that big companies have, but you will get paid more. Yeah, you will get paid more. Go work there for about 6 months to a year, get some good experience, and then go buy your own truck. After you buy your own truck, maybe buy a trailer as well. Go lease it with some smaller carrier, be an owner operator, and after about 6 months to another year, start your own business. You own your own authority and be independent owner operator like I am.
So that's the pathway. That's the way to go.
Like if you're gonna be out here driving, wasting your life away on the road, do it like I'm doing it. Waste it with full pockets of money.
Well said, man. Well, hey, dude, I want to appreciate you coming on the Clubhouse. We're gonna have you back on. We're gonna have to bring you back on with Shimon, and we're gonna have to chop it up and really get into some nitty gritty. But where can the people follow along with your journey?
Hey, OTR Bandit all over Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube.
You guys know where to find him, OTR Bandit. And hey, I want to appreciate big shout out to everybody who tuned in the Clubhouse this Monday night. Great to be back with you guys. Again, we will be back. We're going to be at the Shell Super Rigs show this weekend in Bristol, Tennessee. So if you're coming out to Shell Super Rigs, come out and say what's up. We will be back here next Monday for the Clubhouse. Again, if you've been listening for the past 45 minutes, we work with a gentleman such as the OTR Bandit. He's been in this industry over 20 years, and he's been making a name for himself. He runs safe. He runs his own numbers. He hauls his own freight. This is a guy who is trying to leave this industry better than he found it. That's exactly what we do at Truck Parking Club. We're hoping to leave this industry better than we found it. Specifically, that's why we help truckers save time and fuel by allowing them to instantly reserve truck parking nationwide. And if you need parking tonight, it's on the Bandit. Use the promo code BANDIT20. Bandit20. Go to Truck Parking Club. All over the place, brother. All over the place. Spread it far and wide. Boy, that guy, stay safe. We'll see you next week.